I've tried so many macaron recipes over the years, and I've had some that have just completely blown up, some that just are just hollow and just don't work. I did, however, run across at Lovely Cakes over on Instagram. Tara's recipe is absolutely amazing. It's pretty much foolproof for me, but macarons are finicky and they're not foolproof for everyone. But I am going to share with you her recipe today because it's my most favorite macaron recipe and I've had the most success using her recipe. To get started, you can see in front of me I have all the ingredients that are going to help with our macaron making. First off, we're gonna have our eggs. We need them at room temperature eggs. And if you want, if you're in a kind of a hurry and you have some eggs and they're in the fridge and you don't want to wait, you guys, you can just put them in some warm water in a bowl in the sink and you'll get room temperature eggs like that. That's my little tip from me to you today. You need powdered sugar, sifted, and almond flour. I've gone through a lot of different almond flour brands. This almond flour has been amazing for me, and it is Blue Almond flour. I love it. It's my favorite brand. I'll link it in my description so you guys can see where I get it. Okay, we also need some sugar and a kitchen scale. This is kind of essential in your macaron making because I used to make them thinking, oh, I don't need the kitchen scale, I'll just kind of go for it. You need the kitchen scale, guys. You just need it. I bought this on Amazon for probably like $12 and it works amazing. I'll link that also in my description. Okay, so first off, we are going to measure out 146 grams of egg whites. Then after we get those nice and measured, we're gonna dump them in my mixer and set it aside for a minute. And make sure when you're making any type of meringue that you have clean tools. So I wiped out my bowl and I wiped out the bowl that the egg whites are in, plus my whisk attachment with some vinegar, and that seems to keep everything nice and clean and it'll keep that meringue nice and fluffy for you guys. We need 125 grams of almond flour. I just sift it right into the scale so we don't have to, use another pan or another bowl. We're just gonna sift it right in to my scale. 125 grams of almond flour. We're gonna put it in a separate bowl, and now we're gonna sift out 240 grams of powdered sugar. The same thing, just sift it out, measure it out nice and precise, dump that in a different bowl. You're going to measure out 74 grams of sugar. And now it's time to make this meringue. We're gonna start our mixer on about the, medium to low speed, and we're just gonna start mixing it. We're gonna add our sugar nice and slow. And then we're also gonna add a teaspoon of vanilla. We're just gonna mix this for 2 minutes. After it's done mixing for 2 minutes, you can see it's kind of a bubbly color right at the bottom. Then we're gonna turn it up a little bit more and we're gonna mix it for 2 more minutes. And you can see as it's mixing along, it's gonna turn nice and white. After those 2 minutes are up, we're gonna turn it full speed and we're just gonna keep mixing it for 2 more minutes. You can see it's starting to get that shine, starting to get those peaks. Then it's nice time to add your food coloring, whatever color you guys want to make your macarons. After you've added your food coloring into your meringue, mix it. Just turn it back on and mix it up until you get those stiff peaks. You guys can see I've got nice stiff peaks in my meringue. While your mixer is mixing, or before you do any of that, make sure that you get your pans ready so you can pipe those macarons. I also have my silicone macaron mats. This is just here to help you guys measure out and get the same size macarons. I found these also on Amazon. I will link it in the description. All right, now I'm just gonna get a big piping bag with my round tip. We're gonna put it right in our piping bag, and then I'm gonna put my piping bag in a big, tall glass. Kind of pull it out around it so it's ready for that macaron mixture. Now that our meringue is nice and fluffy, we're going to get our almond flour and our powdered sugar, put them together in a bowl, and we're gonna dump it right into this meringue. The key to getting your macarons not to crack and all of this nice texture is mixing this together. We have to get a good consistency with our macaron mixture. So I have a spatula. We're gonna start folding this meringue into our almond flour and powdered sugar, and we don't stir it just fold it in gently. Just fold it in, you can see it'll start coming together. And then as we keep going, I'll kind of go down the middle with my spatula and then push it around the sides and then bring it back together. But make sure that you guys do not stir it, just fold it in nicely. You can see as I'm folding it, that the texture is starting to change. When our macaron batter is ready, we want to see when I lift up my spatula that it drops down kind of like lava, and it will kind of land on top of each other and just kind of sit on top. So you can see right now it's not really there yet, it's getting closer. Keep on folding that in, keep on folding. And then you can see now as I'm dropping this macaron batter, it kind of drops on top of each other and just kind of sits there on top. This is the consistency that you want so you can pipe your macarons. Now we're gonna transfer our macaron batter into our piping bag that we have ready. We're gonna start piping. Pipe them out and then do kind of a little semicolon move with it. So you can see I kind of push it out and then semicolon, push it out, semicolon, all the way down until you have your macarons piped. Once you pipe out those macarons, pick up your pan and start just smacking it on the counter. Yes, just smack it. Your kids, your family, they'll look at you like you're crazy, but I promise you, this will help get all the air bubbles out of those macarons. So just smack it really good. And then I have just a toothpick, and we'll just start popping those air bubbles right out of those macarons. After I've got the air bubbles out of these macarons and they're resting, I'm just gonna put some glitter sugar right across the top of these before I bake them. You don't always have to put sprinkles on before, and sometimes they don't love it when you put sprinkles on them, but these are just little, so they should bake up just fine. Get your oven temp ready, 285. And then we're gonna let them sit for about 20 to 30 minutes, depending on the weather outside, depending on how warm it is. Macarons are a little bit finicky. They don't like to work when it's raining or kind of overcast, so make sure it's a nice sunny day when you make macarons. Now you can see they're ready to go in the oven because I'm touching the top of the macarons and they kind of have a little film over them. And when I touch them, nothing comes off on my finger. That means they're ready to bake. Okay, the moment of truth. We're gonna put them in the oven for about 19 to 20 minutes, and we'll see if they form those nice feet. Now it's time to fill them. All I'm gonna do is just get one of my star tips and we're just gonna fill them with some buttercream. Learned a little bit about macaron making. It'll give you a little bit more confidence to go in your kitchen and try it. I promise this recipe is definitely the best recipe that I've ever tried to make macarons. So I hope you go in your kitchen, I hope you try it, and you know, just know that, like Ron Weasley says from Harry Potter, don't let the macarons get you down. instead of the muggles, you know, the macarons. Just keep trying. I promise you, you'll have some bad days where they don't work out like you want them to, but you'll also have some amazing days. Don't give up. I once said I would never try macarons again, and I did, and look, they finally worked, guys. So I know you guys can do it. Thanks so much for watching here at Julie's Baked Cakes.